Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and this is part 4, and the final part of my series on making tabletop gaming dungeons. And in this one we make a Gothic-styled dungeon with some of the more common characteristics of Gothic architecture. And we also make a second floor, thanks to a user suggestion. So let's take a quick look. And that's all disassemblable so you can get in there and play. You take the walls out. But there are some new things in this that I didn't show you in parts 1 or 2 of this series, like some new painting techniques. There you go, is the stairwell. There you go. New painting techniques like washing and marbling. And of course, I give you the templates for these various architectural features. So let's launch into the intro and then let's do how to make a Gothic dungeon for tabletop gaming.
Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, rattle rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something.
So now if you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, part 3 is an animation, but parts 1 and 2 show you a lot of basic techniques like how to make the game board, the game surface here. So if you haven't watched those, you should watch those because it's the basic dungeon making stuff. You know how to manipulate the foam to get some detail, and how to do a technique called dry brushing, where you paint down a thick coat of black, let it dry, and then you dry brush to get a good look on the various features of the dungeon. But those are part 1 and part 2. In part 4, I'm going to show you some new techniques, including carving out those sculptural aspects of Gothic architecture, and a washing technique and a marbling technique. But first, let's take a look to understand how we make it Gothic. But there are some very specific architectural features that make something Gothic, and this drawing here will show you some of the more common ones. There are pointed arches that make it Gothic around doors and windows. There are buttresses, which are columns right up against walls to support them. Then there are flying buttresses, which are columns that support walls but stand away from the wall. It's an arch with space between it and the wall. There are pinnacles, lots of pinnacles. And typically there are very large stained glass windows, and the most common motif is a round stained glass window with a flower pattern or a rose pattern. And around the windows, and even in and around the windows, is something called tracery, which is stonework, ornamentation, and support work. So we cover all of these in this. I give you all of this in this tutorial, all these common Gothic architectural features. I give you the templates for them. So let's launch into it. Let's do it. So if you want to use my techniques, you can download the template on my website. The link is in the description of this video down below. You can just print them up. It's free of charge. There's nothing. It's a PDF. You can print it up and cut those pieces out. Now, some of them we are going to use on foam, and some of them we are going to do on foam board. But let's start with the foam. Trace out the parts on foam like the arches, and then cut them out. And that's 1-inch thick foam. You can buy that at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's all in video 1. I just didn't want to cover like all of the same ground again for this video, for those of you that have watched all the videos. So just watch those videos 1 and 2 to fill in any gaps that you have. And then carve out any variations or any details that you want to carve. And then you glue those down to foam board bases. And those foam board bases are all in increments of 1.5 inches. And in this case, it's a 3 grid squares, so it'll be 4.5 inches long. But there we go. Now it's modular. You can move that around, put it anywhere in your dungeon, anytime you want to change your dungeon look. And I'll show you real quick the stairs. So the arches, the stairs, and the pinnacles, buttresses are all foam. The flying buttresses are too delicate for foam, We do those on foam board, and it's in the template. I have the template for you. So you trace out a bunch of those, as many as you want. I did 8 of them. Then you assemble them together, and this is how they stand on the walls. And paint them too. The tracery is also something that you do on foam board. But you cut it out and be as detailed as you want. And you can, this tutorial gives you a lot of options to say, hey, I can do this, I can do that. You can, this is how I did it, but you can just use the window, do different tracery around arches and stuff, have fun and little creativity with all this. And then for the stained glass windows, I just got this old potato salad plastic container, cut a circle and glued it on, and then painted it. Which is kind of neat. You can make circular stained glass windows, arched ones, any shape you want. And then you just glue the tracery on. I've been traveling around America, visiting castles and cathedrals, and at some point, I should do a Gothic architecture in America video. But my next video up is another medieval America video where my travel video. So here's the second floor, and I just wanted to show you the opposite painting technique. In the first video we did black, and then we did dry brushing with white. Now we do the opposite for the Gothic dungeon. We lay down a nice thick coat of white, and then we lightly brush over it with black, with the dry brushing it. And you can see there that I cut out the stairwell. So this will sit right on top of 3 or 4 walls to make the second floor of your dungeon. And it also acts as a cover so people can't see, the players can't see what's in that room. But there you go, it looks good. It's different. There's the stairs. And that's all measured out so it's all the right height, depending on the height of your walls. Okay, so now a washing technique. Let's do a washing technique. This is really fun. Really looks good. And this is how we get a granite look. A lot of Gothic structures are granite. And what you do is you first paint your foam, your architectural feature, white. Let it dry, and then use black mixed with water. And then another container with just water, so you can wash. So apply some of the black mixed with white with water, and while it's still wet, go ahead and wash over it with even pure water. Now it really gives it a good look. Take a look. I'll show you more. So that's granite. And let it be runny and watch this. Now, one of the things I really like about this is with the black and water you can actually drip it into any cracks and crevices to give a really good look. Watch, I'm going to do that here. Here it comes, I think, right here. Watch. Oh, not yet. Here it comes now. Nope. All right, now. Watch this. See that? There you go. That's nice. That's what I'm looking for. That gives it a really good look, an aged look. So that is washing technique to get granite. So now we're going to do marble. And this is the opposite of what we did for our first dungeon. First, whether it be, I'm just painting over the old dungeon, you'll be painting over foam. Just paint a nice thick coat of white, like this. Then dab in a little bit of black here and there. And then swirl it around to give a marbling effect with lots more white. That black goes a long way, so you don't need much of it. But look, see, now we got marble. There you go. So paint the whole dungeon that way. Anything you didn't do, granite. For the most part, I kept the arches, the pinnacles, and the buttresses granite. And the walls I just marbled. So once everything is dry, you go ahead and seal it all so the colors will stay crisp and it'll be stronger and protected against the light, against the elements, against spills or anything like that with Mod Podge. If you don't have Mod Podge or don't want to use Mod Podge, you can do the same exact thing with white glue mixed 50-50 with water. And that's it. Your dungeon, your Gothic dungeon is done. This is part 4 of 4 videos all around dungeon making for tabletop gaming. I'll be moving on to other things. Like I said, travel videos coming up next. But look at that. I love that first arch. Flying buttress. Buttress, pinnacle, tracery.
Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.